This is Chu Xun. His story goes like this. Although a top-ranking student, he recalls that I have only a single objective, to absolutely conquer the National College Entrance Exam. But before achieving that, I must first become the student who stands at the very peak of Qingshang High School. Explaining his situation in brief, we see him kneeling on the ground, deep in frustrated thought. Although frustrated, he concludes that to reach that summit, he must confront that woman, the genius girl who keeps defeating him again and again, never allowing him to stop challenging her. She is the real pinnacle of Qingshan High School. Adding a twist in the story, one day, from nowhere, a strange man suddenly appears. He has a cardboard box on his head with the word "system" written across it. Acting theatrically, he says, "Young man, do you crave power? Do you want to defeat her? I have an excellent plan." Sweating nervously, Chu Xun thinks, this guy doesn't seem normal. Why does he remind me of Mr. Diddy? Maybe I should call the police. He cautiously steps back and asks, "What do you mean?" The system man places a hand on Chu Xun's shoulder like your divorced uncle did when you were a kid. He whispers, "If you can't defeat her in exams, then chase her. Go on a date with her and make her blush." Chu Xun, being the king of single gooners, immediately responds, "No, I only want to study. Dating is not in my plan." Man, now that I think so, maybe he's kinda right. Just look at yourself. No girlfriend, no future, just watching Manhwa RecaPs. Anyway, suddenly, the system man shouts, "You must date. Date passionately and with your whole heart. If you don't date, how will this comic continue its serialization?" In the next scene, now the top girl finally enters the story. She smiles proudly and thinks, "My name is Su Muqing. I'm currently in my second year of high school. For 2 years in a row, I've ranked first in the entire school. I stand at the very top of Qingshan High School. I enjoy the admiring and worshipful gazes from teachers and students." While quietly reading her book, she senses someone staring at her from behind the classroom door. Amid everything around her, it feels as if something strange has entered this place. At that moment, Chu Xun appears in style, holding a red rose in his mouth and a candy in his hand. "Classmate Su, would you like some candy? Don't misunderstand. I noticed that your carbohydrate intake is low today, and your cortisol level appears slightly reduced. Consuming simple sugars right now can improve your decision-making efficiency by approximately 23%. It's lemon-flavored and contains vitamin C, so the marginal benefit is positive." Su Muqing stares at him with disbelief. Is he trying to pursue me? Suddenly, she begins hearing Chu Xun's true inner thoughts. Inside his mind, he roars, "Classmate Su, one day I will crush you. I'll force you to bow before me." Hearing that terrifying voice, Su Muqing trembles in fear. This is even crazier. "I need to leave right now." A loud voice suddenly echoes in the background. "Run! You must run. If you don't run, how will he chase you? How will the two of you become inseparable?" Coming to the real story. Now imagine this situation. On one side, there is a boy with a madness-inducing system. On the other side, a genius girl who can hear other people's thoughts. What kind of love story will unfold between them? We now move to a second-year classroom at Qingshan High School. The room is silent except for the sound of Chu Xun's pen racing rapidly across the paper as he solves problems at full speed. His chubby friend Feng Yuan enjoys the cool breeze from the window and says dramatically, "Today's wind? It's quite noisy, isn't it?" Without even raising his head, Chu Xun answers seriously, "No, the answer is probably C." Feng Yuan pretends to catch the wind in his hand. Chu Xun continues calculating and says, "Then that might be incorrect. For the 7th question about wind speed, the correct answer should be D." Feng Yuan becomes annoyed. "It's lunchtime. Stop talking about practice problems. You're ruining the atmosphere." With a mischievous smile, he teases him. "Hey Shun, I noticed a pink envelope inside your desk today. Don't tell me it was a love letter." Chu Xun calmly replies with a single word. "Yes." Feng Yuan is stunned. "You can lie to your brothers, but you can't lie to yourself. Was it really a love letter?" "Yes." Feng Yuan panics. He laughs awkwardly and says, "Take that back. I'll pretend I didn't hear anything. I don't care. It's just, a friend of mine is heartbroken. Not me, of course. Anyway, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to sleep." Calmly, Chu Xun drops a bombshell. "It was written by Zhang Wan from the next class. The girl you like." Feng Yuan's face turns pale instantly. He erupts like a volcano and lunges at Chu Xun. "Chu Xun, do you even deserve to live? Did you accept her confession?" "No. I handed the letter over to the teacher." Feng Yuan completely loses control. He cries and screams in the classroom while everyone stares at him. Chu Xun looks down at his test paper and thinks seriously, "I don't have time to waste on meaningless things like that. Society isn't fair. Some people are born into luxury, while others are born as beasts of burden." He dramatically raises a huge pen and shouts, "In this unfair world, there is only one fair path upward: studying. Only studying. For ordinary people like us, it is the only shortcut to change our social class and status." Looking at couples flirting on their phones, he scoffs, "I truly cannot understand how anyone can date in high school. There is a 95% chance it won't lead anywhere. It's simply a waste of time, energy, and money." He begins calculating. 2 hours a day equals 120 minutes. 1 year equals 43,800 minutes. 3 years equals 131,400 minutes wasted. What if all that time were spent studying instead? 1 additional minute means 1 more question understood. 1 more question means 1 more point in the entrance exam. And that single point might determine whether you enter your dream university. 131,400 minutes means 131,400 lost opportunities. With a dangerous gleam in his eyes, gripping his pen like a weapon, he declares, "If you're not studying to the death, then study like your life depends on it. Dating? Even a dog wouldn't waste time on that. Dating will only destroy my studies." Feng Yuan shouts angrily, "No one can save you now. You're destined to stay single forever." Chu Xun drops his pen in shock. His water bottle falls and spills everywhere. Suddenly, a loud explosion erupts. Magical rays burst from the ground, colorful energy fills the classroom, and glowing letters appear in the air. "System loading, 99%. Panicking, Chu Xun shouts, "What is this?" Magical energy swirls around him as a mechanical voice echoes in his mind. "System activating. Activation complete. Host successfully bound. Collecting host information. Collection complete." A large glowing panel appears before him. "Welcome to the perfect life system. This system is designed to help the host achieve a perfect and outstanding life." Chu Xun collapses on his desk, but the system continues speaking. "When any person within 1 kilometer reaches a friendliness level of 60 toward the host, they become a target. The host can extract 1 random talent from that target. After completing missions assigned by the target, the host may extract another talent or upgrade an existing one. 6 magical cards appear: white, blue, purple, gold, red, and rainbow. Chu Xun realizes that nobody else can see the screen. A notification appears. Targets within 1 kilometer with affection level above 60. Su Muqing, Feng Yuan, Wang Ling. Chu Xun sighs. Geniuses are always lonely. He selects Feng Yuan. Talent extraction successful. A white card appears showing a girl in a short skirt. Talent: short skirt enthusiast. When activated, the host cannot resist cute short skirts. The cuter the skirt, the stronger the urge to wear it. The host gains complete knowledge of skirts available on the market. Warning: extended use may unlock the cross-dressing addict talent. Chu Xun spits blood and screams, "No, absolutely not." Just then, the teacher's voice interrupts. Lunch break is over. Their homeroom teacher, Wang Ling, around 30 years old, short-tempered, and long single, begins announcing the mock exam results. The system asks, "Extract talent from Wang Ling?" Chu Xun thinks teachers must have useful talents. Extraction successful. A white card appears with a brain and heart icon. Talent. Love brain. Chu Xun spits blood again. What is this love brain? Isn't this supposed to be a perfect top student system? What do these useless talents have to do with studying? He grabs his head in despair. This so-called system is completely useless. Totally worthless. Then, in the classroom, teacher Wang Ling holds the test papers in her hand. With a serious expression and full enthusiasm, she announces, Su Muqing is first in the class and first in the entire grade. Total score, 708. Su Muqing proudly smiles and stands up from her seat. The teacher happily continues, Wow, I can't even remember how many times little Su is ranked first. I've completely lost count. I want everyone to learn something from Miss Su. Then the teacher turns her attention to Chu Xun and says, Next is Chu Xun, second in the class and second in the whole grade. Total score, 701. Very good. 1 point higher than last time. Everyone, give him a big round of applause. Hearing this announcement, Chu Xun bangs his head against his desk. His friend Feng Yuan teases him and says, Xun, you came second again. That woman is seriously terrifying. At that moment we see that Chu Xun, in anger and frustration, has scratched Su Muqing's name all over his desk like a madman. Frustrated, Chu Xun thinks, a score of 701. If I were studying at any other school, I would have ranked first for 3 straight years. I would be an academic god, the pride of my parents, and all the teachers and students would respect me. Suddenly, shattering his grand imagination, Su Muqing's terrifying smiling face appears in front of him. Chu Xun falls to the ground, and a huge heavy board crashes down on top of him. On it are written the words, Eternal Second Place. Trembling with anger, he thinks this is all because of Su Muqing. That woman crushed me and turned my perfect life into the life of a loser. Later that night, Chu Xun lies on his bed, completely terrified. Everywhere he looks, he sees Su Muqing's frightening face. Sweating nervously, he thinks that woman has become my worst nightmare. Just hearing her name stresses me out. Suddenly Chu Xun is startled, and his mind begins racing. Wait, we've been in the same class for 1.5 years, yet we've barely spoken even 5 times. But the system says her affection level toward me is above 60, friendly. This system must definitely be broken. A dangerous gleam appears in Chu Xun's eyes. Whatever, I have to take advantage of it. System, draw a talent from Su Muqing. The magical system screen flashes brightly. Drawing talent. Success. You obtained one of Su Muqing's talents. A white card floats in the air in front of Chu Xun. The talent is called Single-Minded Focus. The system explains, when activated, your mind becomes completely clear, and you will fully immerse yourself in studying. Your learning ability increases by 10%, and your problem-solving speed increases by 5%. Note, do not use this while crossing the street. Reading this, Chu Xun's face lights up with joy. Excitedly, he shouts in his mind, Whoa, I take back what I said. This system isn't completely useless. Happily, he thinks, this means I can completely immerse myself in studying anytime and anywhere. Then, with a mischievous and sinister smile, he thinks, so this is how the magical system works. If you don't choose the right person and the right path, you're just wasting time. But now I've found the perfect way to defeat that woman. Suddenly, he slams his hand on the desk and stands up. The loud noise scares Feng Yuan half to death, and the entire class stares at him in shock. But Chu Xun doesn't care about anyone. In his mind, he shouts, These ordinary people in this class who have no goals are useless to me. I only need Su Muqing. A strange obsession shines in his eyes, and a wide smile spreads across his face. Determined, he thinks, to further upgrade Su Muqing's incredible talent. I'm ready to complete any special mission given by the system. Then we see Chu Xun staring at Su Muqing like a madman. His gaze burns so intensely that Su Muqing immediately senses it and turns around in surprise. In the next moment, Chu Xun's thoughts echo directly in Su Muqing's mind. For Su Muqing, I would do anything. Hearing this, Su Muqing's eyes widen and her face turns red like a tomato. She panics as her heart begins racing rapidly. holding her cheeks in embarrassment. She thinks, what was Chu Xun just thinking? She becomes extremely flustered and shyly thinks, for me, he would do anything? But in reality, Chu Xun is simply thinking about completing missions to upgrade his study talent. Meanwhile, poor Su Muqing believes he has completely fallen in love with her. In the classroom, teacher Wang Ling angrily calls out Feng Yuan. Slamming a paper onto the desk, she shouts, Feng Yuan, you only passed one subject. Come here and take your punishment. Feng Yuan is shocked and shouts nervously, what do you mean I only passed one subject? I'm also a human being, okay? Sitting in his seat, he panics and thinks, I'm doomed. I'm really in trouble this time. They won't message my parents, right? I'll be dead. What excuse should I make when I go home? Suddenly he gets an idea. Yes, I've been feeling dizzy recently. I must have caught a cold. If you have a cold, getting bad exam scores is normal. Yes, that's exactly what I'll say at home. Meanwhile, Su Muqing sits with her head resting on her hand, watching everything with boredom. Laughing in her mind, she thinks, haha, the same old drama again. As you can see, Su Muqing clearly hears Feng Yuan's thoughts. She continues explaining in her mind, this is one of the few secrets about me that nobody else knows. Ever since I was little, I've been able to hear other people's thoughts. Teacher Wang then calls another student. Lin, 22nd place in the class. Total score, 635. Lin stands up and thinks gloomily, I even cheated this time and still got such low marks. Damn, now Dad definitely won't buy me tickets for the June concert. Next the teacher calls, Zhang Yu, 16th place in the class. Total score, 648. Walking forward cunningly, Zhang Yu thinks, I deliberately gave Lin the wrong answers. That girl actually went to check her answers with someone else. Later, I'll submit an anonymous complaint against her to the teacher. Su Muqing grips her pen tightly and thinks sadly, when I was little, this ability turned my life into hell. People's strange and noisy thoughts constantly entered my mind without stopping. God is really unfair. Remembering the past, she thinks most people's true thoughts are selfish, dangerous, and disgusting. For a small child, it was extremely difficult to endure. Taking a deep breath and covering her ears, she continues thinking, only after I grew up did I gradually learn to control this ability. Now, unless I deliberately focus on someone, I cannot hear their thoughts. Secretly observing her classmates, she thinks sometimes it's still difficult to control, which is why I end up knowing most of the secrets in this class. She looks at two girls happily watching a phone together. For example, these two girls who appear to be best friends. Their friendship is actually about to collapse. Then she looks at a boy and girl secretly glancing at each other. These two secretly like each other, but neither of them wants to confess. Without someone pushing them, they might never realize they love each other. Then she notices a chubby boy drawing strange pictures of girls in his notebook. Feeling disgusted, she thinks, and this guy who thinks he's a great artist, if his thoughts were exposed, the police would probably take him away immediately. Taking a deep breath, she calms herself. There are many more secrets like these. I know everything, but I will never tell anyone. I simply want to live my life peacefully. Even if I don't have any friends, that's fine. Everything just needs to stay quiet. But suddenly her eyes widen. However, there is one exception. She looks at Chu Xun sitting in class, completely focused on studying. A small smile appears on her face. In this entire class, he is the only person I don't find disgusting. Even though he always looks at me like I'm his enemy, at least his thoughts are the strongest and purest ones I've ever heard. Everyone in the class calls him a crazy study nerd. She smiles proudly. Some people think he's only pretending, but I know he's truly like that inside. He only wants to study. But suddenly, boom, a massive noise echoes inside Su Muqing's mind. She hears Chu Xun's intense thoughts. In this class, I only need Su Muqing. She is shocked. Then Chu Xun continues thinking intensely. For Su Muqing, I will do anything. Su Muqing's heart almost stops. Her face turns bright red as she holds her cheeks in embarrassment. What? Feng Yuan shakes Chu Xun and says, Shun, Are you okay? Why are you staring at Classmate Su like that? Love is practically pouring out of your eyes. Chu Xun snaps out of his thoughts. Teacher Wang then says, Miss Su, please collect the exam papers of the students who were absent today and store them safely. Flustered, Su Muqing replies, Why yes. She walks forward to collect the papers. Meanwhile, Chu Xun begins thinking rapidly. Fingers touching, hands joining. I need to find an excuse to hold Classmate Su's hand. Hearing this, Su Muqing is shocked. Chu Xun adjusts his glasses and thinks seriously. Actually, holding hands is simply meaningless contact between layers of skin. Giving it special meaning is one of humanity's greatest pieces of nonsense. Su Muqing stares at him. What on earth is he thinking now? Then Chu Xun imagines further. If I argue like that, Classmate Su definitely won't agree, right? What if I kneel down and beg her to hold my hand? What would thin-skinned Classmate Su do then? Seeing this image in her mind, Su Muqing almost loses her sanity. What is he saying? What's wrong with him today? Teacher Wang asks, Miss Su, do you need something? Panicking, Su Muqing stammers, No, I'm just going to store the papers. She runs away quickly, but in her panic, her foot slips and she falls heavily onto the ground. Teacher Wang shouts, Are you okay? Feng Yuan yells, Oh no, teacher. Classmate Su's nose is bleeding. She needs to go to the infirmary immediately. Chu Xun panics. I have to reach the infirmary quickly. Then he suddenly thinks, wait, if I go with her to the infirmary, wouldn't that be the perfect chance to hold her hand? Hearing this terrifying plan, Su Muqing trembles. Teacher Wang says, Someone help take her to the infirmary. Chu Xun rushes forward like Superman, shouting excitedly, Leave it to me, Classmate Su. I'm coming. But Su Muqing stretches out her hands to stop him. There's no need. I am fine. Holding her nose, she runs away quickly. I'll go by myself. There's no need to trouble anyone. In her mind she panics. Classmate Chu. This is absolutely not okay. Now Chu Xun stands alone in the classroom. Watching her run away, he sighs sadly. Why? Is she deliberately avoiding me? And why was her face so red? Is she sick? Then a glowing screen appears before him. Mission countdown 35 hours, 24 minutes, 8 seconds. Chu Xun sighs with a gloomy expression. That special mission. The system screen displays. Exclusive mission. Bond of friendship. Mission requirement. Hold Su Muqing's hand. Reward. 100 EXP. 3,000 renminbi. 1 new talent draw. But the most terrifying part is the punishment. The system warns. If the mission is not completed within 36 hours, punishment will be applied. Speech loss syndrome. That means Chu Xun will permanently lose his voice. Now think about it. On one side, Chu Xun must hold Su Muqing's hand at any cost to save his voice. On the other side, Su Muqing is running far away from him after hearing his terrifying thoughts. Will Chu Xun manage to complete this crazy system mission, or will he lose his voice forever? So, coming in the next episode, we see Chu Xun daydreaming in the street. Well, let me assure you that's absolutely not something new for a nerdy gooner like him. Diving into the world of the book, he recalls that I've heard KGB agents always keep a hand near their waist, always ready for action, and they're also experts at looking for clues online. With his new KGB persona, he starts searching online for how to hold hands with a girl whom you have never spoken to. After this post of his, someone comments, Little Chu Nan's fantasies have reached a new level. Asking this kind of nonsense here. And just like that, his post got deleted by the admin. Feeling the blatant disrespect, he angrily starts typing, I'm an alien from M87 Nebula. Due to an accident, I got stuck on Earth, so to active my mothership and get back to my home, I need to hold hands with a girl for a minute, whom I had barely talked to. Damn, that was a 300 IQ response. Never knew nerds could think like that. Anyway, walking by the road, he mentions, by the way, the one reason I get to leave early in the afternoon like this is thanks to the privilege of being a super top student. And it's also a curse. All because the person besides me also shares the same super top student privilege. But, looking at her, he gives a manic, creepy smile. No more second place. Thinking with the true student system, this privilege will eventually belong to me. Therefore, just let me complete this mission of holding hands. But, unknown to him, Su Muqing kept hearing his inner words, making her blush profusely. Before he could do anything, his shoelaces came undone. Trying to tie his shoelaces, he starts to bend over, and, truly unknown to him, on the other hand, seeing his kneeling pose, Su Muqing's brain crashes, thinking he's about to confess. Because of this misunderstanding of his intention, she gives her helping hand to him. What a cinema! Why doesn't this thing happen to you and me? I wonder when I'll get my own plot armor like this. Whatever. Seeing her approach, the single gooner thinks, Classmate Su Muqing? She's posing like, if he ever looks like he's about to kneel, I'll immediately pull him up. So, that's basically the proud stance of, rise, my loyal subject. Using his bird brain 3000, he concludes this to be a challenge. Acting all dramatic, he retorts, women, I accept your challenge. Standing on his feet and killing the mood, he murmurs, Classmate Su, if it's just tying my shoelaces, then I can handle it myself. No need to help. Caught off guard by his comment, she says, what does it mean to tie shoelaces? I clearly heard something else. Confused by her behavior, he asks Herd, what did you hear? But before he could get any answer, the bus coon arrives, giving her an escape code. So without thinking twice, with a blushing face comparable to a tomato, she bolts, murmuring nothing. It's nothing. My bus is here. So bye. And with that, the battleground of love shifts from the road to inside a bus. Looking towards her, he thinks, why is she acting all strange today? Anyway, the plan has already begun, so I must see it through it till end. With his creepy face, he approaches her while calling, hey, Classmate Su. She asks what? Looking intently, he asks something that only a disciple of Diddy would ask, so here's what he says, Miss Su, what's your hip circumference? Making her bleed in utter shock. Don't ask me how I know this, but never try to ask this of any girl you like. You will surely be considered the Kasoka of the class. Coming to Chu Xun, he reasons, look, the bus seats are roughly 50 cm by 50 cm. With the recent upgrades, they're 10 cm longer now. My hip circumference is 95 centimeters. A normal person's but can be approximated as an ellipse. So, explaining her better than Nikola Tesla, he concludes, as long as you move over a little, we can share one seat. Blushing as always, she asks, share one seat? He answers yes. And coming to their inner monologue, he thinks, in this way, if the bus moves slightly, I can clearly and directly hold Classmate Su's hand. Questioning the manhwa plot, she mentions Classmate Chu Xun. Aren't the full buses empty with seats? There are only 2 of us. Therefore, isn't it unnecessary to squeeze into one seat? Caught off guard by her abandoning the manhwa plot, he panics. I messed up. Such a flawless argument. How did I forget to observe the environment? As expected of her. Man, what is the usage of your eyes if you can't even see this after using this telescope-level glasses? Please discard them for your and society's good. Frustrated, he surges beside her in defeat. Thinking, damn it, I'll have to replan again. After a few moments facing the ups and downs of life, he cooks a new devilish plan. Explaining inwardly, he says, if I'm right, the bus is about to turn. Seize the moment. Looking towards her, he thinks, Classmate Su, do you feel it? Right now we're expecting non-inertial rotational motion. In plain thermal, the bus is turning. Feeling her proactiveness, he exclaimed in plain terms, you might get thrown. So come on. Let me hold hands. Due to the bullshit reasons. Man, what is wrong with this guy? Why he just uses complicated terms? Su Muqing, fighting back in this battle of intellectual romance, retorts, Classmate Chu, you're wrong. And with this answer in plain terms, it means don't touch me. Winning the battle with all her courage, she hoops into another seat, explaining for safety, let's remain in single body stability mode. Chu Xun, determined, not accepting death fate, approached her from her rear. Calling her with the usual predatory intention, he calls, Classmate Su, you also notice this enclosed cabin space, right? So, according to the second law of thermodynamics, entropy in an isolated system always increases bullshit and whatever he's saying. So I think we should hold hands. Debating his theory with her own, she denies the necessity of this. He exclaims, what about the wormhole stability hypothesis? No, Chu Xun. All that is wrong. And with that, their bus journey comes to an end. And coming to the heroine of the story, as she was about to leave, he calls her from the rear. While she looks towards him, she recalls, today was so strange. Normally, I can't block out inner thoughts even if I try. But with Chu Xun, it's like the signal's being jammed. Only weird fragments come through. Taking the dialogue himself, the system mentions, of course, it's me, the system filtering everything. Coming to Su Muqing, she mentions, at the bus stop just now, I heard him trying to hold my hands right now. And from the point of view, it all sounds like he was about to confess. Thinking about it, we barely even talk on the bus. He kept desperately trying to find a topic to get closer to me. Having the realization of the century, she shudders. No matter how you think about it, it sounded like he was about to continue with something strange, trying her best to run from the certain confession. She bolted, saying, since it's come to this, please accept this good person card. I'm sorry, classmate Chu Xun. Right now I still can't go through it. Now MC, with his optimistic aura of a protagonist, says, then it will be next time. Catching her attention and making a dramatic pose, he says, next time I will surprise you. And with that intention of confession, he leaves her in deep thinking, what a weird dummy. What does he mean by surpass me, but not confess to me? Damn, the weather is looking super beautiful with her two sons. Won't you agree with me? The scene shifts towards a confrontation between Chu Xun and his parents. Seating in front of them, he mentions that something feels different today. I don't know why, so before I investigate this first, let me introduce this person. So, at first, this is my mother. She runs a private home bakery. Recently she has gotten in short video platform and has been trying to film the workshop content. And the skill I got from her was social acumen, which helps market logistic edition self-promo perpetual engine. And speaking about my father, he's a voice music teacher in a big institute, but due to him getting a vocal surgery, he is currently semi-retired. And the skill I got from him is perfect pitch. Thinking of it, both of them like to ramble during dinner about neighborhood gossip and life philosophy. But today it feels so silent. Could it be that they found out that I ranked second again? So they want to comfort me somehow? No, that's not right. The only person who thinks about my grade is me. Ever since I entered high school, I have always been second. Yet they still calibrated, saying the second place is still good. So, not thinking so hard, he just asked mom and dad if they were hiding something from him. The father, answering with hesitation, first starts idolizing Chu Xun. And before the father could finish his talk, just like your mom, not knowing the true meaning of the topic, he stands and says that he understands the matter. The father, praising him, says, son, you've grown up. But, catching them off guard, he exclaims, so when did mom get pregnant with a second child? Seeing his father's stern reaction, he tells comrade father, don't get worked up, the national policy's just relaxed, so you both being young and strong, it's normal to have a second child. Cutting his nonsense, they ask the real question. So, Chu Xun, we want to know if you like someone. Again caught off guard, he shouted in a dramatic state. That's slander. That's an insult. Comrade Chu, Ms. Li Shufan, please mind your phrasing. Proving their point, his mother showed him the notepad book scribbled with Su Muqing's name. She asked, what's this then? Remembering the past events, he recalls, in the midterm exam I got 145 in math, and she got 150, the full marks of an exam, thereby taking my first place. So that night, I kept trying to solve those key points, for those 5 points, but when I snapped out of the dazed state, my script paper was filled with Su Muqing's name. He explains to me that every stroke was regret and unwillingness. You could almost smell the salt of tears in the ink. But, in other people's eyes, it seems like you secretly wrote a girl's name across an entire page. And you're telling us you don't like her? And with that, not giving any answer, he bolts out of the door into his room. His mother confesses her worries about him. Another person's child doesn't study even if they bauge. But your child studies himself to the crazy levels. When a girl suddenly showed up, I thought he had finally opened up. The father comforting mentions what's wrong with loving the study. Making her point, she mentions, in this age everyone brings a friend or have an interest in girls, but from childhood till now, do you see anything like this in him? She adds, the other day I used his computer to look something up, and what I saw was, the father, intrigued, asked, what? Breaking his wet dream, she mentioned, I saw him searching the teaching video of an online course for advanced mathematics from university level. Yes. I bet your father would also show this excitement after seeing the type of fetish you prefer. Amid all the darker thoughts, she mentions that she saw the girl named Su Muqing in the last parent-teacher meeting. She's really pretty, like a porcelain doll. And I also heard she ranks first every time. Isn't that great? But his father, understanding the clear picture, mentions, I think I understand the true resolution, it's not romance for sure. Inside the room, Chu Xun kept thinking about his points, at first when he got 145 and now 142. But she still got full marks, so whenever I think of those scores, I feel like Gojin, king of Yue, during the spring and autumn period, and Su Muqing is Fuchai of Wu. With a strong resolve, he thinks the old me was a defeated loser under her skirt. But one day, I will wash away this humiliation. This disgrace of the past will be repaired. So with the power of this top system, I will do it all. And with that, after activating the system card, he goes into a trance state. He mentions it's hard to describe. My mind feels cool and clear. All distracting thoughts are gone. Only the purest, deepest obsession remains, studying. Each problem flows slowly. Time slows down and problem-solving speed increases by 5%. This gives me an extra 6 minutes in the exam. This is a white tier card. What would happen if I got the rainbow card? Would I be able to solve a problem just after looking once? I'm looking forward to it. So much so that I can't wait to wake up and see Su Muqing. And this is the first time that I'm thinking about classmate Su Muqing this instant. And as he was thinking about her with his maniacal glee, Su Muqing on the other side sneezed all of a sudden. Looking gorgeous, she thinks, am I catching a cold? No. It feels like a cold chill is spreading behind me. Blushing in that state, she contemplates which dummy is thinking about me behind my back. And come to think of it, I actually talked to the guy a lot today, and why is there no water today? I'm gonna freeze in this state. And with that remnants of love, this part ends. So let me know if you want the next part. Like the video to help Manhwa RecaP make more juicy.